In this video, I'm going to walk you through one of the widely used, and effective tools in life coaching. It's simple, it's practical, and if you do it honestly, it's going to show you what's missing in your life. And that's the first step towards progress. So, are you ready? This tool is called as Wheel of Life. So we get confused in our lives most of the time. And it's not because we lack the ability or we lack the effort to get better. It's purely because we do not have the clarity on how to go about life. And this tool, Wheel of Life, is what's going to give you that clarity today. And it is used globally by coaches to understand life as a whole and not in fragments. Because that's what the mistake sometimes we make, just to focus only on one area and ignore the rest. And that's what puts us in unhappiness most of the times in life. So take a paper and pen. We are going to do this exercise together right now. The first step is to draw a circle. The black seems slightly not ready to draw itself. So draw the circle. This becomes our life. Divide it into 8 parts. Yeah. So in some places, some coaches use as 10 or even 12 sections of this wheel. But here, for simplicity and for ease of living this life and practicing it on every day, we'll keep it 8. All right. Now, we also draw these circles to mark the rates, the rating of each section, which you'll understand further. This is 2, this is 4, and this is 6, and this is 8. The circle could be a little more on the bottom side, but please bear with me. I'm not an artist. Now we have divided it into 8 parts, and we have marked the circles for the rating as well. Now, each section has to be marked. Each section represents a key area of your life. 1, your career. 2, your relationships. 3, finance, money. 4, health. 5, personal growth. 6, spirituality, that is inner peace. Now, 2 sections left. One is physical surroundings. And the final one is fun and recreation. Please understand, none of these is more important than the other, which is why it is on a circle that's equally divided. It just emphasizes that each of those areas is important in your life. And this is your complete life structure right here. So we've done 2 steps, and each area has a role to play, obviously, because it's career. Your career is giving you direction in life and growth. Relationships, what's life without it? Being a social animal, we have to have beautiful relationships, and because that gives us emotional support and connection. Finance and money, the world runs on it. And so you've got to be on it as well. Be in control of your finances, but not to be controlled by it. Yeah. And health is entirely your fitness, your vigor, your functioning. Everything depends on good health. Personal growth is about also growing as an individual. if we look at each of us, we would have grown personally from what we were about a year ago. So that's also an important part. Spirituality in our inner peace. So much happening in this world, so much happening in our lives. And amidst all this, we need to have that inner peace. And that's sometimes, and that's always based and founded on a good spiritual habits. Yeah. And finally, your physical surroundings. No matter what happens within, your physical surroundings also play a very important role in how happy you're going to feel on an everyday basis. It's important that you have the best people around, the best space to live in, the best space to. None of these points are about having wealth or being, you know, building such affluence. It's about having a good living space. So now we have all the 8 sections here. So this is our complete life structure. And when one or more of these are neglected, you feel it, but you can't explain it. Next step is step 1 was we drew the circle. Step 2 that we did mark all the sections. Now step 3 will be to rate it. That is to rate each of these areas in your life from 1 to 10. 1 being you're completely dissatisfied with that area, while 10 being you're fully satisfied. Perfect 10s don't happen as far as I understand. Maybe, but there are yogis around the world who probably could do it, which I do not know. But yeah, that's about 1 to 10, the rating. And please note that you've got to mark your score honestly here. This is not to show anybody. This is not about looking good. This is about being honest to yourself, to true to yourself, so that you can understand what part of your life needs what kind of improvement, so that you can be a happier person in whole. Now we move on to the next step, which is to review this wheel. So now that you have rated, have got to rate it here. The rating is also about marking it. So you might have marked 1 to 10 against each of these sections. I will also do it. It's based on one of the clients. I will not disclose it, but I'm going to use that as an example here. Career is 8. So this is the 8. We'll mark it. I use another color for this. Easier to understand. If you have different pens, please do it. So my sample career is 8, and I've marked it there. Finances is a 7, somewhere between here. This is 8, this is 10, so this should be 7. Health is a 4, 2, 4. Relationships is a 5, 2, 2, 4, 5 should be here. Personal growth is an 8. It's good. While fun is a mere 3. It's 2, this is 4, so 3 should be here. And inner peace is 4, which is again not a great number. Environment, that is your physical surroundings, in the 6, 2, 4, 6. So now you have to connect these points, these ratings. So I'll connect mine here. You connect these points, adjacent points. Okay, so that's the wheel that I have here. Now we can clearly see it's not a smooth circle. Look at the green one. So I hope you can see this here. This is not a circle. And neither is it going to be one, but our aim is here to make it smoothen as much as we can. That is, this is uneven now. We are trying to make it more even. So what does this tell us? Now, look at the paper that you have now. If you've not done it, this is the time. Pick up your paper, mark the sections, and rate it and join the dots. So what does this tell us? Even though career and growth personal growth, and finance are quite strong here. Fun and spirituality and health is on a low. So this person, his life looks, his or her life looks quite great from the outside, but he's not so internally. So he must be feeling a little low on the energy. He must be not experiencing joy. He must be mentally restless because the wheel is very imbalanced. And he might be telling people, I am doing well, but I'm not happy. Yeah, because he's doing well on the outside. He's good career, he's got finance, he's got good growth in terms of that aspect. Yeah, but the rest of it is no. Now we have to apply this to your own wheel. So I'm going to specify a few questions here, which you need to ask yourself. When you look at your wheel, what stands out immediately? So when I look at my wheel here, what stands out is the career is good, but the spiritual essence, my inner peace is not there. Fun? No, none at all. It seems I'm not recovering well. My client is not really recovering or finding joy outside of his workspace. So, which area is the lowest and why? That's your question. And what is missing in that area? For example, here, if your health is 4, it is 4 here. Does that mean you're not exercising? If your sleep is poor, if your energy is low, if you are on any deficiency, like sometimes when you have a vitamin deficiency, like a B12 or a D, that causes uh, it, your health goes down, and sometimes it causes a kind of little depressive feelings as well. So I've had a few clients who've immediately went on those vitamin supplements. They started feeling better. Generally everything around remained the same, but they started feeling better. So you need to check that if your health is in a low rating. If your relationships are a 5, is it because you're not spending enough time with your family? Is it because you are not connecting with your friends? Is it because you're completely focusing only on your workspace? Is it because your conversations lack depth? Even sometimes when you're meeting friends, it might be a very superficial relationships and you're not engaging in good quality conversations. That could be a reason. Now, if your fun is 3, so here my fun here is 3, that is very low. And is it because this person is constantly working without giving himself or herself a space to enjoy life? No movies, no books, no outing, no good food, no activity at all, no walks in the parks. Yeah. So let's go a little more deeper. Also, ask what would a 10 realistically look like in this area? Now, if it's fun, let's say what 10 would be. 10 would be where you're having a great time, you're having, um, you're generally on the happier side, you're more cheerful through the day, and you're having a lot of recreation, even on a work day. Yeah. So, what is one thing that would move this from a 4 to a 5? Now, we're going to focus on those aspects. This has to be applied on your paper because clarity comes from specificity. We need to be specific to each area. That is, now we have to look at each section and review it. Ask yourself, why did I give this a 3 here? Let's take a different section. Why did I give 4 here in inner peace? Why? Because this client is always having confusions and conundrums within himself. What has been ignored here? Some simple, nice spiritual habits on a daily basis? What would improve this area even slightly? Now, that's the question. Like, if I ask myself this question, I would say I have to read a bit more of spiritual texts, if I can listen to a few chants, if I can understand different people in the world who've been philosophical and who have had different perspective about life. So that's something that I would look at. And also remember, all these areas are interconnected. When you start working on your health, you automatically have more energy, and you would spend that on your career. You'll feel better there. You'll have more good feelings to share with your relationships, and your relationships improve. When your career improves, your finance improves. So this probably, it's almost like this. When you pull this a little bit from your, imagine there was a actual thread here or a wire here and in this shape. If you pull it from one side, it will definitely impact a bit on the other points as well, which might raise it a bit. Yeah. So now we've understood. Now we have very clear idea about what area of life is not so great and why it could be. Now that we've identified it, the next step is to take clear actions. Because none of these tools in life is going to work if you don't act upon it. Solid, consistent action is what's going to make your life better. So now we will define one clear action per area. Remember, these are not vague intention, these are specific actions. So for example, if you take health, walk 30 minutes per day. 30 minutes. I had the camera moved a bit. Let me adjust it. Yeah. Work 30 minutes per day. That's it, 5-day week. If you could do that, that's a solid action. Fun. Plan one fun activity per week. Go for a movie on a weekend. If you have children at home, take them to a play park. It need not be somewhere you have to spend money. You can just go to one of those nearby parks in the corner of your road where they have nice slides and, other probably swings for the children to play, and you can also enjoy, have some fun time there. If it's about improving your relationships, what could be one good action? Reach out and have one meaningful conversation. Pick up that call. Pick up the phone and call one of your friends who you've not spoken to for quite some time, but who is a good friend of yours. Pick up that phone and make a call to them and speak for some time. And share the joy of having a friend like that. Share what you are feeling on an everyday basis. Ask them how they have been living, how they've been, and reminisce a few of those moments from your life. If it was from your college, if it was from your school, if it was from any other area that you know each other, share those memories with each other. And within half an hour, you'll start feeling better from what you've been. Now, if something is quite large, like if you're working on multiple things, I would say don't go at once on this. Break it into smaller steps. Like for health, you can have multiple things happening here, but just take 2, 3 actions at a time. Probably one is 30 minutes walk, decide on that and do it every day. Second could be do a checkup of all your vitals, of your nutrients, if you find out if you have any deficiencies and act upon it. Those two things for beginning is good. Now, once that starts getting better, that is, you can review this process and understand how it's getting better, then you move on to the next step. So it, here in the action again, I'm stressing upon this: consistency is more important than intensity, which is why I'm saying you need not do 2, 3 multiple actions. You can do one first, two first, and go on to the other actions. So from my own experience, what I have understood is that this exercise doesn't show your entire life to be wrong. No, that's not our aim here. It's only about understanding exactly where you've been neglecting yourself. Because our life is not just our career, our life is not just our relationships. Sometimes you may have a great family life, but your career is on the downhill and you feel bad about it. So it's about a balancing act of all these aspects of our lives. So once you realize what you've been neglecting, you will start applying that actions as necessary, and then the change becomes focused and more manageable. That's what I have understood with myself as well, and from working with a lot of people, a lot of students, younger ones, and the elder ones as well. What I would really request you is that you have to do this exercise honestly, and then you will reap the benefit. It has to be a very diligent, understanding effort, which, if you do, will give you clarity, and that clarity will change everything. Are you ready for that? Now, you need to also understand that you need not fix your entire life. You need to start at some point. Let this be the starting point. If you've not done this entire thing, even now, you've not taken your paper and pen along, after this video, you're going to repeat this process, probably watch the video again. Good for me, you get another view. You can watch it again and do the process and start working on yourself. So if you would like to go deeper into this process, I work with individuals through one-on-one sessions, and I've linked my Clarity Blueprint program in the description of this video. Please go to it and please add your brief. It will be a little longer brief, and that is for a reason, because my aim, if you join me, if you're together working on your life, it needs to improve a few points at least in terms of your rating of your life. And which is why I would need to understand more about where you're coming from even before you join the program, which is why the brief is. Okay, so I think we've come to the end. I hope you understand the quality of your life depends on the clarity you're willing to make. And that's it. So on that note, thank you and see you in another video. Bye.